Okay, now we are in Mrs. Lane's backyard. This entire wall, starting from there, all the way to the end, past that umbrella right there. This is her entire wall. From this wall, sorry the sun's in the way, but we're gonna start with cactus with some hummingbirds with the prickly pears, and it's gonna continue all the way over here, and then there's gonna be more scenery, more landscape noise like plants and birds, and then it's gonna have like a cool little texture, maybe some like lush hidden behind the bushes, and then it's gonna go out here, and then it's gonna start growing a fence. A fence is gonna start popping out here and here, and then it's gonna turn into donkeys, go continue over here, and I'm gonna have to come up with an idea, something for her dog, her three-legged dog. And the first thing we always start with is by pushing the rocks back and leaving the tarp down and wrapping this entire area so that we don't get any paint anywhere where it shouldn't be. Starting with this wall, we're gonna start removing all these rocks and then placing a tarp down and then starting the sketch. All right, now we got that drop cloth down. It's gonna be covering most of this. Gotta be careful when I'm doing this as well, but yeah, looking good so far. I'm probably going to wrap that as well, maybe, just in case. Just want to be safe. All right, that's gonna be covered, and this is all covered too. Now we can start sketching on this wall. Let's grab our white paint and do it. Let's do this. Yeah. This part's gonna be tricky because I don't want to get these plants painted, so I have to reach over. Very nice so far. Lots of prickly pears. Very nice. We'll have to do that here in a minute. Have to wrap that, but first let's just finish that sketch. Well, the giant cactus is gonna be here. Like the flower, definitely more detail is gonna happen there. And between this and this open spot right here is where that hummingbird's gonna go. And then maybe some noise down here, probably some like, I don't know, sprouting cacti, or maybe some more of those slowly going down. And then some distant cacti in the distance in the background, all that in the background. But yeah, this pillar is probably just gonna be one cacti. It's gonna look good. All right, here's this pillar, almost done. I know it doesn't look that good right now, but this is just a sketch. This is what is supposed to give me an idea of what it's supposed to look like. That's good. I'm gonna add one more big one like right here, and then the rest are just gonna be tiny ones in the background. Well, this is what it looks like so far. Nothing too crazy. I like how it is so far. I think I might add more like stuff coming this way maybe, or maybe like some lush. Depends really. Maybe I might make the mountains bigger. Not too sure yet, but looks good so far. Looks pretty good. Now that we got the second panel pretty much done, now we're going to this part where we have to paint behind those bushes. It looks good, and it's like the mountains will kind of be at the bottom here like this, but then the cacti is like in the center between these two, and it looks good. And we'll do a couple more mountains, and then we'll start on a fencing, and then we will get to the donkeys, and then her dog. All right, now that those donkeys are done, I think this is gonna be the hardest part, because I really don't want to damage any of the plants while painting. It'll just be like that one over there, but a little bit trickier because there's more plants. I mean, I have room, but you know, man, it's gonna be tricky. I'm gonna need a lot of tape for this too. And here's what we got so far. We got the cactus with a giant bird. A bunch of prickly pear goes down to this scenery area. And some cacti between these bushes. And a giant cacti with these fences. And then probably something that will fill there later. And then the two donkeys right here. Alrighty, now that we have the sketch of this entire wall done, what we're going to do is lay these tarps down, and then we're just going to start hitting it with the prime, which is a white paint, and that should be good. We're going to be using this this 3x8 roller. I think the most difficult part will be the bush part, like that, this, and then that. So what I think I might do is just start with the plain walls first, like those two right there, and then this one right here, and then do these last because these will be a lot easier to paint later on, basically. All right, we got the paint, and let's get started on this wall. Oh yeah. This is some exterior heavy duty paint. It's just the impulse. Just want to stick my hand in there. And here's what the entire wall looks like painted. And then time to do pretty much the hardest part of this entire project, and that is to basically go back and spray the colors of the sunset while trying to avoid spraying anything that shouldn't be colored, specifically this, the walls, the top part, the bushes. I think the bushes are going to be the most difficult part because you could just cover those. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. Right, now that we have our utilities, we're going to start coloring in this wall right here. Of course, not everything is fully colored. It's just the stuff that needs to pop the most. Of course, there's going to be holes because that's what you get with a brick wall. But yeah, let's get started. Alrighty, let's do this. You can see the orange is fully done drying, and then what we're gonna do is now, to cover up all the dripped spots and the white, we're gonna hit it with a yellow and then maybe a hint of orange right in the center of it to make that look like a sunset. All right, now we got our yellow paint. Let's do this. Alrighty, that's what it looks like, fully yellow and red with a hint of orange near the end and a little bit towards the middle. I like it so far. Now what we're gonna do next is get a sketch over it and then do the painting. And what I'm going to use for the sketch is this basic white and black paint, or this is more like a brown. Yeah, more like a really, really dark brown, but yeah, I'll use this to sketch. I'll start with this, then go that way, finish that side, and then finish those. Yeah, that should be pretty good. Ah yes, beautiful sun. Alrighty, just like that, the whole entire sketch is done, and now we can get to the final part, and that is painting. Alright, so what I'm actually gonna start with is these cactus right here, because there's no background. It's just these cactus sticking out between these two bushes. And before I even start on these cactus, I need to find a good background color for those mountains. I know those mountains aren't from here, but they look pretty nice and they fit the land very well. And then all of this is going to be a whole different complex thing, like these cacti, this one right here. We got the Grimace roller right here. Alright, now that that's done, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna go back later on and add some flowers to it, maybe like a hot pink. But for now, I'm gonna start trying to work on this background. Right now we're just hitting it with some orange. Definitely gonna hit it with some highlights, make it look faded, make it look darker in the background. Doing the same with that one. Should look good. Well, I got it painted. It's definitely not done, but for now we are just adding detail to cactus, just basic for now. Down there I finished painting the rest of the cacti in, the bases in. And right now, we are just going to go over, make sure they all have an outline so they all have more depth of where they should be at. Well, that's what the other one looks like right now. And right now, we're just starting to color in this cacti right here. Well, the prickly pear, I should say. Just filling them in today, and then putting in the shadows and giving them more highlights, and yeah. And then we'll do it with that one, and then that one, and then that cactus down there. And then we'll hit them with their flowers, and then we can finish these sections right over here. And yeah, definitely do the bird last. And that's what it looks like so far with the lighting and the coloring. I'm gonna go back with this to add a little bit more shadow near the ends of them. And yeah, and then we can add flowers to those when they're ready, and then yeah, we'll look pretty good. Now that we have all the shading done, we are just adding spikes. All right, so that's what those prickly pears look like done. I also got those cacti done. Next, we're going to finish these ones right here and then work on that one. And then we'll finish that side right there. And then maybe start hitting detail with that one before we even hit those donkeys in the fencing and all that, because that's a completely different section. Alright, this is what it looks like so far. Just starting to hit it with its base color, then shade, and then hitting it with the highlight, and then thorns, and then that one will be done. Then we'll work on that, and then get back over there. Look at this. Look what I found. That's a little caterpillar right there. Hello, little caterpillar. Now that these are done, moving over to this pillar right here, and just paint this cactus. Well, eat my own words a little bit, but I'm gonna add a little side to this thing, make it a little bit bigger, of course, but add a little side to it so it can make this, because this area is kind of just blank right here. Alrighty, now that this side of the cacti that are painted and that little bit right there is painted fully, we are now going to work on this end right here, get this big one done. Might take a little bit longer, but hey, as long as we get it done. Get all these cacti fully painted, and then we can play it by ear or see what else needs to be done over here before we officially get started on this. Get a little bit of paint in here. Split, 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 splash, splash, splash. Just need a paint. Like that. It goes in. It works pretty well. Shall we? Most of the color guys do it a lot better. It looks like that. It looks good. Well, that's what all the cacti will look like when it's done. And now I would like to actually, if we walk all the way over here, right over here, I'd like to actually get started on this pillar right here to just get it done. And I'll time lapse it too to show how the process works and how it looks. Oh, look at that one. I just finished painting that one. That's pretty good. I'm actually just gonna work on this fence here and then finish coloring in the orange right here, and probably finish those cacti first before I start detail painting these fence posts. All right, well, I'll block the sun for a second. Yeah, well, that's what the fence looks like painted. I'll probably go back with it and hit it with some more detail. I still need to paint the this fence right here. I'll probably do a darker color so that it can stand out more, because if I hit it with this, it'll kind of be hard to see. And then there's those. That needs to be done. And yeah, almost done with this giant cacti. I'm just gonna come over here and finish these fences that are giving me irritation in the eye. Just gotta finish them, make them look distant, give them a little bit of highlight, and yeah, go from there. And then I'll go back over there and finish that. And then probably add more fencing right here, like a little bit more detail behind them, so it just looks like it's not just like just a giant fence, you know. Yeah, it looks good so far. Alrighty, I added that little wood fencing, and I also decided to add a little bit more color to the fencing because it looks a lot nicer that way. Plus, I did say I was going to try to add a little bit to it, and it looks a lot nicer too. Pretty clean. I'm gonna add some metal paint right here and make it look like nails are added to the wall so that it looks like it's nailed on instead of just, you know, connecting somehow. This is what this big one looks like when it's going to be finished. This reason why this one kind of has like a bit of a bigger curve at this end is because this big flower is going to be here. It's definitely going to be a lot bigger and a lot more red because it's like a really up close cactus, and this hummingbird is definitely going to have more detail. It's just like that for the sketch design for now. All right, after filling in the colors for the flowers, I decided to start sketching a couple more things that she wanted, like the Roadrunner. Sketch a little bit more. It looks great so far. There's the Roadrunner, and then there's a lot of grass hiding under here. The donkey's ears have been readjusted and it looks really nice. I might fix his a little bit, maybe make his a little curved as well, but yeah, looks good so far. And then that a little bit, but this was the main focus. Oh, and that over there. It's a little dark, but yeah, I got that whole thing painted. So yeah, that's what it's been looking like so far. I sketched out some quails. She also wanted some quails in there as well, like I said earlier. Well, the flowers look pretty good. Now I'm working on the cactus flowers on this side over here. I think I'm gonna go back over to the prickly pear, the second batch, and turn those into purple flowers because I think they'll look a little bit nicer. Plus, I think that's what she would rather want. All right, base done for that one. Before I start changing the flower colors on this prickly pear right here, I'm actually gonna go on this cactus and start filling in those colors, and then fill that one. What I like doing first is starting with the detail, hitting in with their most biggest base color first, and then hitting it back with more detail to it. The reason why I don't just barely hit it with the red of where it's mostly visible is because it makes it harder to paint, and I think it makes it pop more. Because if you don't do a sketch before you paint, then sometimes it's a little bit harder to get that idea out without learning where the base is at. So that's why I like to hit it with a full-on color, and that's why it might take a little bit longer, but hey, you can't rush art. I learned that from a Pixar movie. Good quote. Now that those flowers are done and these ones, for now we can work on this one. Start filling in the color. Well, here's the beginning part. I'm just using a tinier brush so I can get more little leaf pellets in there, so it looks a lot more detailed. Now that those flowers are finished, now we're finished that flower right there. Now we have to focus on the ginormous flower at the very end right over there, and that should be easy. Well, that's the idea. I might move it more, a little bit towards like that area a bit more over there, so it looks like it's popping out that way more. But right now it looks pretty good. But yeah, let's finish this flower, and then we just have that barn to do the basic painting on, and then we'll pretty much have everything done besides the animals and the grass bits right here. Well, that's what this one looks like. I like it a lot. I like what I did for the middle, kind of like made it look try to make it look like higher quality, something like that. All right, now that we have the bottom part done, we're gonna get this finished, and then we have to put that nice rusted red at the top. Well, this is what it looks like, almost done. Still need to do the shading in the orange and a bit of the top right there. It's definitely not done at the top, but this is what it looks like. It looks pretty good so far. We are almost done. Well, the top is now done, and the cactus are here done. The grass is almost done being faded in. Just need to finish that bit right there, and then we can finish the grass spots over there, and then we can start on the hummingbirds. Well, that's with all the grass there. I really like that. I bet she'll like it too. Well, she wanted the wings to be extra big, so yeah, this is how big the wings are gonna be. I might try to make the tail a little bit bigger so that it looks pretty even. But yeah, show you what it looks like after. Well, it's almost done, but this is just what the setup is. It's a rag, a bucket with water, a whole lot of paint in a box, some markers, and a box of, well, mess that up. All right, there's that one done. I really like the color she chose for it. It makes it stick out too. Like, I know a regular one's like just a regular like violet, green, natural colors, but like a blue, a unique blue, it makes it stick out. So I like it. I personally really enjoyed this project so far. Like, I know I still have a long ways to go with the quail and the donkeys and the rooster and then the dog and then the other hummingbird, but it's coming together. I'll be done here in a little bit, but you know, this has been a really fun one. It hasn't been taking very long either. I have been very flexible with my schedule. But yeah, come to really enjoy this one. We're gonna get started on this one. Alrighty, well, now we just gotta finish this one today, and then probably work on the quail or the roadrunner on this side. I'd like to save Rocky for last. Here's what we got so far. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna try to finish it up here, make it more stylish, and see how it looks. Well, that might have been a bit of a giant jump, but that's now done. And the quails are now done right here. Quails are now done as well, so pretty much everything else is done besides these donkeys and the dog, Rocky. So we're gonna start working on it today and then hopefully finish it tomorrow. Both sides, I mean. Yeah. Wiping, painting, splashing paint till it makes us something. I don't know. Well, this is what it looks like so far. It's pretty good. It's very windy out, but yeah, this is the purple that she's going for. It looks pretty good. And then this will be a blue, an additional blue. It'll look pretty good as well. Well, got the first one done. Now all we gotta do is get this blue one done, and then finally, Rocky the dog. Well, the donkey is done. I'll get some shots later. But now we're just working on Rocky, hitting it with a darkest base brown for the body, and then we're going back with lighter tones to give it more shadow, and yeah, be a finished product. Well, Rocky is pretty much done. He just needs a little bit more detail and it'll look good. But yeah, I guess for now you could call it a finished project. We're just going back over and hitting it with different details. Like right now she wants me to hit it with a different color, and then I'm gonna go over here with the blue again and make the ear a little bit bigger on this donkey. Get rid of the sketch marks. Add the whiskers. Add a tail because she likes a tail. Make the Roadrunner's tail bigger. Add a tennis ball and change the color of the collar. And then add a signature because she wants me to signature my work. But yeah, I've loved this project so far. This is a big one. This is like the entire side of a wall. It hasn't taken very long. And I think I've used my time pretty well when painting this. And here is the final project finished. Look at that. From the end of the house towards the gate, all the way to the end. Can't forget the most important part, a signature.